Welcome everyone to Talented Universe, part of the NDB Media Network, on this glorious day in August, the 10th of August. I still can't believe it's already the 10th, 2025. Before I have Marcia introduce our guest today. I'm going to introduce our co-host really quick. Greg, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Michael. How are you?
Pretty good. Liz, what's cooking there?
Literally cooking. At the moment, it is 89 degrees.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're heading to 105 today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story. Marcia.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm not quite cooking, but I'm here in Florida and it's warm. But I'm thrilled to be able to introduce our amazing guest today, Sam Bell. Hi, Sam.
Hello, thank you, Marsha. Nice to see you all. Thank you for having me.
And we are incredibly thankful for your visit here because you have, among other roles we're going to talk about, have been lately in one of our favorite shows, which is The Librarians, The Next Chapter.
Yes.
And in the episode and the House of Cards as the mysterious Madame Visconti.
Yeah.
And tell us, how did you come upon that role?
Well, I actually firstly auditioned for the episode previous. So I auditioned for episode 5 and I wasn't quite right for the role. And another lovely actress got it. But then they called me back and said, can we see you for Madame Visconti? And I was like, you've watched it. So I was reading it and I was like, she's very cryptic, she doesn't, she
Indeed.
kind of doesn't say a lot that makes a lot of sense. So I was like, okay, what kind of, I did a little bit of research on tarot readers because we only get a small portion of the script. It's not like I'm seeing the full thing. So I just kind of had to piece some things together, make some strong choices and tape it and send it to the lovely crew and see what they thought. And they got back and they said, we love it. Let's have a chat. Let's see what you think of the character. How do you think she's going to be? Because she's slightly different to everyone else, even in the episode, in that she's not even from the same era. So she's from the 15th century, the Renaissance time, and everyone else is from a different time. So I had a bit of a chat with Orshi, the director, about what kind of a person we thought she was, and we just took it from there, really.
Mm-hmm. The role is such an integral part of the episode, and there's so many characters in and the House of Cards. How much fun was it with all of the different characters on set at the same time?
Well, the first one that I think the first scene that I filmed was the one with everyone, when everybody's in the tarot room with me. So I met everyone straight away, except for Vikram, because he's
somewhere
not
else.
there. He's lost. So I got to meet everyone. It was lovely, to be honest. I already knew a couple of the Serbian actors, so that was really nice to be able to work with them because I knew them from events. We have an agent in common out there, but I hadn't worked with some of them, so that was really nice. And I got to meet Bluey, Jessica, Olivia for the first time. And to be honest, they were just really lovely and welcoming. And I hadn't seen any of the work before because it was the first season, so I hadn't seen what they were doing with their characters. So it was just nice to see everything that I had already read be brought to life. But it's a comedy, obviously. And actually, some of the offers were just hilarious in the room. Like, obviously, we can't laugh. Obviously, the director and the crew can't laugh. But it was very funny. And the one of my favorite characters is the guy who rings the bell, and he's always like, Madame Visconti will see you now. He is just gold dust. Like I was nearly crying laughing at him, because as well he has the added thing of the language barrier. He's very Serbian. English is probably, is second, third, or other language, and it's just not as easy to do. So he was really putting a lot of effort in, but he was really great and funny with it. So, and the costumes, when I saw the lounge singer in her beautiful sparkly gown, because my costume was insane. Like, I loved it, but it was just crazy seeing everybody else's.
And we have had Ivana on the show a couple of times, and I think she's coming back. And the costuming was amazing. And how much does that add to and help you in your character?
You cut off at the end there, but did you say how much did it help me in my role?
Yes.
Well, Ivana, I actually class Ivana as a friend. She's amazing. And I watched her on your show and threw a couple of questions in the box, because I love her work. When I went and got my costume, I was just like, I couldn't stop gushing about it. I was like, this is incredible, because previous roles that I've played are not exactly glamorous or beautiful, and I was like, I'm gonna look at my dress is, at least my dress is gonna be pretty, if nothing else. The clothes will be beautiful. So when I first tried it on, I was like, this is amazing, but the heels were like this. And I am not a girl who walks in heels easily. It's not cute. She thinks of everything. So even though you would never ever see them in the show, like I had a pair of tights on, and they were so perfect for, I think I shared it on my Instagram, because I was like, why would anybody not want to see these? And I said to her, I was like, well, nobody's going to see this. And she went, but you'll know. And I thought, that's so lovely. Like, and it does bring something to the character. And there was a day when I wasn't walking around, I was sat behind the table, and the guys were like, if you want, you can just put your slippers on. And I was like, I'm not good. I was like, you know what? Ivana put a lot of thought and effort into this costume. I'm going to wear this costume. So I didn't choose the slipper options, and I wore the high shoes that killed my feet. And yeah, because it did make me feel a little bit more. Also, I loved one of the details that Ivana told me about the costume, because she really thinks of honestly everything. Like down the middle, it had 22 Spanish buckles to represent the 22 major arcana cards. And I was just like, who thinks of that?
Wow.
She's just mind-blowing. Love her and her fashion.
Wow. Thank you. I'm going to throw it to Michael, because I know it's getting busy in our chat room.
It's getting busy in the chat room. I'm going to throw up some highs just quickly. Susie Bonebreak says, she says, well, we'll say hi when it decides to. Here we go. Welcome, Sam. Great to have you here. And then Boyana, I'm not going to try to do that. She gave you all these little fun things. And then Francis Sharp says, great to see the actress behind the amazing character that is Madame Visconti.
Thank you.
That is good. And this one, I'm not going to require you to fulfill this request, but I think you might get a little kick out of seeing it. Good evening. I would like a reading, please.
Nice.
And that was from Siwan. Yeah. But let's see. We do have. Let's see. Susie says, I watched the episode twice this morning to bring back some memories. Was it your librarian's power that allowed you to be in two places at once, doing a reading with the guests and also with Vikram at the same time? Or have you no idea?
Because I'm the character, I think I can make up the answer if I want. So
okay, there you go.
There you go.
So we'll just say that it's definite, because I played her. So I would say yes. because I have to think of all the reasons why I'm in the room as well as the character. And I would say yes. And because she's the guardian and because it's her job to deliver all these clues, she's the only one that can cross those dimensions at that time. She's obviously super magical. She was probably the best librarian there ever was, you know. So
Right.
she's like superpower. But yeah, I'd say that's why. And obviously, when you think about it, Vikram can in the end, and he's also the librarian, so he does enter both dimensions too. So I think it makes sense that yes, that is the case.
Yeah. Now, Andre says, I loved your work in this episode.
Thank you.
And then this one says, what was the favorite? This is from Sharon Marie Bell. Must be a relative. Maybe.
That's my beautiful mom.
Okay. And
Madam.
hopefully she won't do mom questions to you. But what
kind
was
of
your
mad
favorite thing
question?
about playing Madame Visconti?
My favorite thing about it was actually the challenge of trying to make her make sense to me when she made no sense to anybody at that time. So I really had to try and think, what am I trying to say with these words? What am I trying to do with these words in this scene? So it was more the puzzle of working out who she was, but just being on set, being any character for me is amazing. I love the environment. So it's shot really quick. Like I
Yes.
think it was maybe 6, 7 days for this episode. So they're working really fast, and it's hard to. You'd think it would be hard to create relationships, but it's not. Everyone's working as a family. It's really super supportive. So just being there, like, is amazing. But yeah, playing Madame Visconti, the dress, just working out the character, putting my stamp on it because I don't know what anyone else would do with that character, but that was my offer. And as Andre said, he loved it.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Liz for a couple of questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Actually, really quick side note. One of my friends was seeing the post, and she goes, "She looks exactly like Emma Stone." And I don't know if you've heard that before, but I'm like, I thought that was really great.
I have had it before, especially on, have you seen Poor Things?
Yes.
I think people, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but especially when that was out, a lot of people were saying it.
Oh, cool. Question for you. Okay. You said you studied tarot reading and everything. Do you actually know how to do it?
I have
How
a
did you
deck
do it?
of cards. I do have a deck of cards, and I've had them for a long time, and I know little to nothing about them other than you're supposed to sleep with your cards so that they have your energy because you shouldn't let anyone else touch your cards. So part of me was itching when I was just letting the other guys spread them out and work it out. I was like, oh, I don't know if that would be allowed, but let's go with it. But yeah, I know a little bit about it. But if I had to do a reading, I would still very much be the person who's following the guidebook, saying this card means that, this means this. So I know a little bit about it, but not a whole lot. I would love to. I would love to have that. Some people just feel really intuitive about it. Some people just have a gift and they can just go ahead. I would love to have that. I just don't think that I do, sadly.
Another question is, you said you had tried out for a role previous to Madame Visconti. Do you have any knowledge of like the previous librarians or the movies, so you kind of knew what the world was about, or did
I
you just do this blind?
watched. Yeah, I did watch a couple. I didn't watch it all because actually the turnaround time from audition to getting the part and shooting it was really, really fast. So there's a lot to be done in that time in terms of research. But of course, I did watch some of it just to get the feel for the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg, you want to handle a couple? I have more later, but
Oh, sure. You seen you stole one of my card questions.
oh, but that's okay.
So you mentioned you do have a deck. Is it like a traditional Rider-Waite deck, or is it a particular style?
I don't know. It's do you know what? My brother bought it for me years ago, and
Oh,
all I know is that it's like purple, but it's not so
lovely.
when I was looking up the deck for the show, I was because it's a real deck. I didn't know that at first. So the Sforza tarot deck is a real deck, and it's actually called the Visconti Sforza deck because those two families, the Sforza and the Viscontis, they ruled, I think it was Milan, way back when, I think 12th to the 15th centuries, and they married. And this deck of cards was theirs. So it is a real deck of cards that's out there. Madame Visconti's not a real person. She wasn't one of the people, but it is a real deck of cards.
That's really cool to know.
Yeah.
So, um, all right. So, okay, now I have to jump ahead a little bit, and get off of the librarians. Looking back through your filmography, I noticed you're in a show that was done recently called The Fallen. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your character of Tasha for those of us that might not have seen the show yet and why we should watch it.
Yeah. Do you know what? Fallen was the first time that I had a role that was all of the episodes of a TV series. So I'm in all 8 episodes, and I was part of sort of the main cast. So it was amazing. I actually learned so much on that show because my background is primarily theatre before sort of 2021, and it's a really different world being on set. Everything's different. So Tasha is quite different to Madame Visconti. I wouldn't say as glamorous for sure. She's head of security at this sort of school, and I'm not gonna. Might be spoilers, so I'll just say that now, just in case. But it's based on books, so it's all out there. But the school is for fallen angels, and the fallen angels don't know it, so they're sort of like dying and repeating life, and when they get there, they don't really know. So my character is security for that school, but it also transpires later down the line. She's also the mother of one of the young people at that school, but she hasn't acknowledged that to her daughter. Nobody else knows. So that's like a little thing that comes out along the way. So it's really nice sort of character arc. It's a very big cast, and it's primarily the sort of the young crowd that it's about because it's a love triangle and stuff like that. And my character actually isn't in the books. She was written specifically for the TV show, which is really nice because it means that they can do anything that they want with it. Um, and it was still being written, I believe, as we were doing it. So it was touch and go as to where it was going to go. I think when I first got the role, I was told I would be dead by episode 5, but she was still thriving by 8. So that's good. But I think I read the books actually years ago, so it was a real surprise when I got it. But I think for anyone who likes sort of fantasy, if they liked Twilight, that kind of romance that's a triangle, it would be a really great watch for people like that. A bit of escapism. It's quite dark in places, but the acting's fantastic. We've got the lovely Sarah Niles in it, if anyone knows her. She was one of the only people that were the people that were my age on the show, so we sort of became like friends. Yeah, so you'll just see me in like a jumpsuit with guns. I have a lot of weapons. I have a lot of, yeah,
Fun.
really different.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, it looks like we're getting lots more comments and
Oh,
questions.
yes, we are. This is from Steve. I'm assuming it's another relative.
That's my lovely dad.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and read this because it's your dad. So there you go. Madame Visconti was a character steeped in mystery, and we see it revealed that she herself was a librarian. which was really cool. I want to add that was really cool. Is her character going to be prized in a future episode, or can't you disclose this? I'm sure you. And if you want to just go, Mom, just give a big smile, and I'll just go on to the next question because we understand non-disclosure agreements. So
Yeah, there would be non-disclosure, but actually, I think it, at the end of that episode, it does say she's where she belongs and she can never leave. But it is a magical world, so
yeah, so you never know.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
anything can happen. Anything can happen, Dad. Watch this space.
Yeah. You could come back as a different character. Who knows?
Who knows? Nobody knows.
Or you come on another one of Dean's shows. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Francesca Belinsky says, loved hearing about the costume design as the character just looked and acted so fabulous.
Thank you, Francesca. That's so nice of her to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was something. I mean, that whole episode was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was crazy. And you know what? I did love it was a really different look to me as well. So I never wear my hair up ever. And it was just bizarre to see it like that. I felt like I looked about 10 years older, and I guess that's fine.
And let's see, Andre Christian says, what was your process for developing Madame Visconti?
That's a good one. I trained in London at East 15, and we learned all kinds of techniques. So we had to do, Stanislavski, Michael Chekhov, Meisner. We did method. We did all of these things, and I don't do just one. I like to just take what I like from certain methods and pull them all together. Most recently, I suppose I've been more interested in the Chubbuck technique, which I think is really similar to Stanislavski, but maybe a bit more easily digestible. It's kind of 12 steps that you can follow. And I kind of like to do all of those. But with every character that I do, in the script for me, I like to, because they're never completely like me. So what I like to do next to my lines is write, what am I actually trying to say here? And I'll do it in my own words. So if it's, if someone's saying something and she's really angry, but it's just, those aren't the words, I'll write what I would really say in that moment. I won't say it on this because it would be rude, but I would write that down next to it. And I did the same for Madame Visconti, but more so because she was so cryptic. So I was like, if she could speak the words she wanted to use, what would she say right now? So I kind of did that as well as all of the other usual steps that I do. It was hard actually because sometimes we actors like to do kind of like animal work or movement work for the body and the physicality, but the costume really dictated that for Madame Visconti. It wasn't like, she's like kind of in a dress that makes you have to be a certain way. She's in heels that make you have to walk a certain way. Do you know the scene where they're in a room and she goes, it's death and you can never leave, and she's standing and then she walks out? This was, I'm telling you, like the hardest scene to do, because walking in a dress that long in heels that high, I was scared.
Understandable.
I know I couldn't do it.
Marsha.
Understandable, Greg. With looking at the set itself, it's hard now to see what's real and what's virtual, but a lot of that set looked as if you were really someplace. Lovely.
The only scene, because nearly all of my scenes are in the tarot room, which was that beautiful, gorgeous, dark red space. That was at the studio, so they built that, and it was amazing. But the one what I was just talking about, where I'm standing up, that was in this gorgeous place. I think it's called the White Palace or something in Serbia, and it was like that. So when you see them in the foyer, I think with the chandelier, maybe that is actually there, because there was a foyer kind of similar, and it was just this big, beautiful place. But we actually weren't allowed to like touch anything. So we were allowed to be there, but we weren't allowed to like touch anything. They put all the chairs and everything in the middle of the room so we wouldn't touch their stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in details, watching you when you were moving the cards and cutting the cards, I noticed that you use your left hand, and if I'm not mistaken, a lot of times they'll say use your left hand when you cut tarot cards. I'm not sure, but was that a direction by Orsi, or are you really left-handed?
I'm a lefty. I'm a
Oh.
little lefty. Yeah. So I am. And you know what? We had an issue with those cards because I think naturally you would want to like shuffle them in a specific way. They are giant. They're huge. They were too big for my hands. So there was no way. So we actually spent longer than you would imagine working out how I was going to shuffle these cards. Also, ideally, you would maybe spend some time maybe I would already have that talent, flipping cards around. I
Mm,
don't, so I just had to like make it up in the moment, and that was the best that I could do. But I think the directing sold it, so I'm happy with that.
mhm. And one little question. I noticed that also some of the characters called you a fortune teller, and I wondered whether Madame Visconti took issue with that, or as how would you think she felt about that?
Do you know what? I see Madame Visconti as the Mother Teresa of the librarian world, and I think she's really mellow. I don't think she'd mind. I think she's there to do a job, get a job done. She's a caring lady. She might come across as a little bit harsh and stern, but she just wants to get the job done. I think she'd be okay with it. I don't think, she's confident in herself. I think she's cool with it.
Okay. Want to go to Liz
Yeah,
next?
go to Liz. Yeah.
Hi, Liz.
I'm going to open the library door and use a little bit of magic, and we're going to sidestep into another reality here for a minute. In 2009, you played the drummer of George Harrison on stage. How much fun was doing that?
You cut out there. Which one in 2009?
Nowhere Boy on stage.
No, I think that's another Sam Bell.
It looked just like you.
Nowhere
Really
Boy.
good.
I
It
do
was,
do stage, but I don't is no, I don't think that was me.
oh, okay. It looked exactly like you with her hair all done up in a bow. And
Um,
yeah, I
no, I
mean, you
wish
got
I
another
was in
twin out
it.
there.
It sounds good. Maybe me, her, and Emma Stone could kind of do something together.
Okay. The tie-in question to that was you were a bassist, so obviously you have some sort of a musical background. What is your favorite genre?
Of music. Um,
Yeah,
I am quite eclectic when it comes to music. To the point that when I was 15 and everyone was being really cool and listening to cool songs of that era, I was in my bedroom listening to Elvis albums,
good
the
girl.
Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, I've never sort of followed the trend, but I do love a bit of popular culture. So I just kind of I like what I like, but I like happy music mostly. I feel like music gives you a lot of feelings that you didn't ask for necessarily. So I don't like to be surprised by sad songs sometimes because it will do something and it will make me feel sad. So I tend to go for something a little bit jollier, a little bit happier. Um, I have to be in the mood for certain kinds of music, I think, just because of how it makes you feel. But yeah, I'm quite eclectic.
And I know that you had mentioned in 2021 you had started to do a lot more on-screen acting roles, and the first one that you did was Miss Scarlet and the Duke, which
Yeah.
is kind of a periodical timepiece. And then you've gone on and done Pendragon Cycle, and now with Madame Visconti. Do you like doing episodic period pieces, or is this just a fluke that these all came about?
I like it, but I think it's kind of a fluke, and I think it's to do with the look that I've got. I suppose I'm quite natural looking. I could be of any era. It's I've got long hair. They can do anything with it. It's not like I have any. colors, anything like that. So I think it just falls on my lap for those kind of reasons. But I'm glad because the costumes are always really beautiful. Like Pendragon, I
Mhm.
really liked that outfit as well. That was cute too. You know though, like the costumes are never comfortable. We spend hours sitting around in these, like, 12 hours a day or whatever, and it's always hell. Like there's always something really uncomfortable about it. But the main thing is that they look good.
Yeah,
So
and don't try to go to the bathroom at any time in some of these
you
dresses.
can't go
You know,
alone most of the time.
the tight corset and everything else. Yeah,
Yeah. I just did something recently where I had to wear a wetsuit under the costume, like a full wetsuit under a full sort of period dress. And bathroom breaks were just not a thing really because it's a military operation.
yeah. Um, that and with the librarians as well. What do you think was your favorite memory of being on set? Whether it was something funny, something very sweet and unforgettable, or
Favorite memory. Do you know what? I suppose because I really love comedy and I don't always get the chance to do that. There was something that on set where I heard Orshi laughing out loud at what we'd done. And that was my favorite bit because I was like, I know we're not allowed to do that, but it's human nature if you find
yeah,
something really funny to do it. So I always remember that. And it was me and Vikram. We were doing one of our scenes together, just the two of us. But really, truly, the thing that was so lovely about that show was how lovely and supportive the actors were, because we've got to remember they've already done, when by the time I get to them, they've met so many new actors, because it's like making a small movie, isn't it? Every episode's a completely different world, which brings about a completely new batch of actors other than the main ones. So they're probably fed up of it by then, but I felt so welcome. They were so interested. They chatted. We all made friends. They invited us out for drinks, dinner. It just was like a really nice. It was a really nice set of work on. Like I could have and would have loved to stay for so much longer.
it's funny that you said that. I have made the comment several times. It seems like any of the actors that work with Dean Devlin, he has a special talent of finding extremely wonderful, people to work with, and it's like you're all family, you all bond. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what show, it kind of goes across the whole thing, and he continues to do that, and you are now one of the family as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
So,
it is lovely. It is because I know, because you guys, I've watched some of the interviews you do with the Ark as well, and I know that they're really like that. And I've met some of those guys as well. And everybody, you're right. And it's not always like that, sadly. Sometimes it's
yeah,
not. So it's a really beautiful experience. And you know what's nice is that you can feel free to be so creative. Like it's so important for you to feel like you can just relax in the space and in the role, to have that support and to have people who you feel really care and they have your back, and they're gonna, if you mess up, nobody's gonna care, we're just gonna carry on. Like that is such a great environment. It's such a nice space to be in, and it just breeds creativity, and I love that. And I love watching them work, like, and watching the decisions they make. It's really nice. Yeah.
yeah. Michael, I'm going to throw it back at you.
Okay, yeah, this you kind of just answered. I was going to throw it up next, but this was just more. How was it as an actress slipping into the team that had already been working together for 5 episodes? That's kind of what you were saying just a minute ago.
Yeah. I mean, I was anxious though, like before day one, because there's no time in those kind of scenarios. You're not doing a table read or anything before you get there. You're turning up and you're working. So you haven't met anyone yet. You don't know that on day one that they're going to be really lovely, welcoming, and stuff like that. So I arrived not knowing and a little bit anxious and worried about what the day was going to bring, but also just thinking, I'm going to give it my best. But it was honestly a blessing, because day one, I think I was like messaging me mom and me dad back home, just being like, "Oh, it's a lovely set. I'm having the best time. Like this is going to be a great one."
Cool. And here's a question, and I hope you have seen this other show, or you won't know how to answer this. Sawan says, if Madame Visconti was a character in Doctor Who, Don't you think she could be a sibling to the Doctor because of her style and the way she speaks moves? I could totally picture her as a Tyne lady.
Definitely.
I don't watch it, but I
That's
do
what I was
know a bit
thinking.
about it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
obviously, I would love to be in it. So I'm going to say yes to that. I do think she could do that. And I think someone out there should listen and make it happen.
That would be nice. That would be nice. And another franchise, yes.
Yeah, she's
Uh,
definitely girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm going to head over to Marcia now. Marcia, you got
You're muted.
you're muted.
Still,
Okay,
there we go.
sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, and just one quote that you had in and the House of Cards, which I remember, was, "A thing is not good or bad. A thing is a thing." And in the mystery of Madame Visconti, that kind of, it sank into my being, because it kind of is a philosophy of life in a way.
Yeah, in how, because I think it's about how you look at things is what it will be, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So a
Mm-hmm.
thing is a thing. And I'm big on, like, in real life, like manifesting and trying to have positive vibes to reflect that back to myself. And I think it's that kind of thing as well. Like if I'm, and it's also about what you're giving out. If I'm giving something out, I'll probably get it back, whether that's good or bad. So it is kind of a philosophy for life, and it kind of reflects my philosophy really in a lot of ways.
Mhm. And you seem to be a bit of an adventurer. You've been around in many places in the globe. Do you consider yourself a bit of an adventurer in life?
Yes, I've got itchy feet. I can't stay still. I think I'd say that both my parents, to be fair, love to travel, but my dad in his youth worked away like constantly, like he was on ships going all over the world. So maybe I caught the travel bug. But I also get really obsessed with places. So went to South Africa for a theatre festival once, fell in love with the place, felt like it was my spiritual home, and then I couldn't stop going. I went like 14 times. I moved there for a while. Like I just fully fell in love with it. And I didn't just go to, like, the festival was in Grahamstown, but I went everywhere. I was in Johannesburg, I was in Port Elizabeth, I was in Newcastle, KwaZulu Natal. Like I was just having the best time. And I actually spent quite a few months living in Motherwell Township with the friends that I made there. So I had a really unique experience and loved it. But I'm the same anywhere I go. Like I went traveling to Serbia in 2021 when COVID was kind of, it was around and sort of lifting. You could kind of travel, and I was planning to stay for 1 month and then go to Albania, Montenegro, Albania, Greece, and I just never left. I just stayed for like 3.5 years. So I sort of like fall in love with places and then don't want to leave. I also fell in love with America. I did Route 66 for my 40th just
Wow.
in February, but that's too expensive to fall in love with and live there. So I came
Tell us
back.
about it.
And one last comment about your the costuming on in the Pendragon cycle. Things were kind of dirty, messy and all. I've often wondered, how do they get you grungy? Do they tell you, run through the forest until you're in sure?
No, but we kind of, what do they call it? They always, when you first try it on, it's really kind of pristine still. So it's like, it looks like it does, but it's not dirty. And they always just say, we're going to don't worry, we're going to break it down. And I still don't know what that means. I guess dab it with stuff that looks like dirt. But yeah, but actually we got terrible weather doing Pendragon, and it was so rainy. And because we've got the horses, the hay, it's set ages ago, like there's just dirt everywhere. The bottoms of our clothes were trailing the ground. We were scruffy anyway. I just feel so bad for like the people at the end of the day, because we just take it off, done, moving on. But the costume people have to come in, they have one night to clean it, to get it ready for you for the next day. Bless them.
So it was fun.
It was super fun, but actually we couldn't even do the scene sometimes because of the weather. There was one scene and it became, I think it's mentioned on one of the interviews I did, but it became like a joke because the amount of times I'd come to, that was shot in Budapest, where I also lived for a little bit because I got obsessed. But it was shot there and they had to keep flying me in for this scene. And then I'd arrive and it wouldn't get done, and then I'd leave, and then, you know, then they'd fly me back, and there was always just a reason why it couldn't get done. So it just became like a scene where everyone was like, will this ever happen? Eventually it did, thankfully.
And there was one little behind the scenes thing where some of you had the little Santa hats on, the long red Santa hats, and there were, I think that might have, was that a rap party or
It must have been near wrapping time because
yeah.
we started, it's crazy because we started shooting in 40-degree heat in the summer, and by the time we finished it was snowing. It was awful. So yeah, it would have been close to wrapping for definite. I'm trying to think back. I actually don't think I made the official wrap party because my scenes finished before the end of it, and because I don't live in Budapest now, I was gone by then, so I didn't go to the official one. But they were this. It would have been the crew would have instigated that as well, because they're so upbeat even when the weather and everything. They have to be like, what else are they going to do? So they do anything. I think didn't they dress one of their speakers or something in decorations, and they were like wheeling it round. It was really cute.
Thank you. Okay, Liz.
Liz, you're muted too.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I know that we're going to be wrapping it up here shortly, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us all of these wonderful answers that you gave us about Madame Visconti and some of your other work. It's been so pleasurable to listen to you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, and just bring me back when I'm in Doctor Who. That'll be fine.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely. You can
Or if you show up on something else that we watch, we'll bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely will be.
If they ever release Pendragon Cycle.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even tell you what year that was. 2022, I think we filmed that.
Yeah, it hasn't aired yet.
No, but it took a long time for Fallen as well. That only aired in America on the 6th of February because that was my birthday and I was in America, and it was about 2-3 years later. So there's still time.
Still time.
Yeah.
Daily Wire Plus did pick it up. So
Thank you so much.
They will release it.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, so I've got to ask, because you are in Northumberland, how was it filming in Budapest, knowing that the part of the world that the story took place in?
It was really frustrating because my character in it is Welsh, so she's not my accent. And then there's people on set being coached in my accent. And I was like, what? I could do that one. Like, I was just like, this is driving me crazy. But actually, they did great, you know. It's not the easiest accent to do. People really struggle with it. And it was Brett Cooper. She was doing a Geordie accent, and she's American, and I think she smashed it. So she did a really good job. Awesome. I just remember her saying mud hut. So like it was.
I won't even attempt it, and we have to use subtitles for Welsh. So
we'll see how my Welsh is. We'll find out when it's out.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and I also really would love to thank you for joining us today. It was a delight to have you on here.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I just like to fourth everything that everybody has said. I mean, thank you very much for coming, and just help us out to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything from the Librarians that's coming out from us. Because we do have 2 guests next week from the Librarians.
Nice. Who have you got?
And I'm going to tell you as soon as my silly little computer will go to the next screen that I need to go to. But you know, sometimes it decides that, Michael, no, I'm not letting you do what you want to do. And sadly, that is the truth. Now, tomorrow, and people, it has changed from what it was originally scheduled for. So on the 11th of August, we have Hannah Devlin, who was in episode 11 at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time. And if you hang out in the UK area, that will be 8 p.m. And on the 13th of August, we have the co-producer and writer of several of the episodes from the Librarians The Next Chapter, Rebecca Rosenberg, will be joining us at 12 noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and 5 p.m. in the UK area. So those are what we've got. And we've got others coming too. We've got several more directors coming from the show, but they're all busy right now. They just keep putting me off to say, sorry, I am too busy right now. I've got to plan for blah, 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 and they blurt it out, you know, and I go, okay, I'll let you be on the ark. Fine, you know. But thank you for coming, Sam. And also, if you want to follow her on her Instagram, that is scrolling down at the bottom, or you can go to our webpage, ndbmedia.net, look under live shows, go to Talented Universe, and it's listed there also. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you
everybody.
maybe tomorrow if you're here for Hannah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.